I speak to you as a fellow citizen and proud American, and as an Orthodox rabbi. I serve one of the largest Orthodox congregations in the South, and my life's mission has been to bring American Jews back to the authentic teachings of our faith, untainted by attempts to fit into secularized culture. I speak not only as a Jew, but as a fellow believer in the God of the Bible, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We here are partners in the effort to uphold the moral framework that sustains our society. Sadly, too many Jews, and I imagine, like many Christians, have turned away from their traditional values, but still speak in the public arena in the name of their Judaism. My congregation and the community that has arisen around it is representative of a vibrant, growing, and engaged segment of the Jewish community which proudly continues in the path of our ancestors. Through millennia of chaos and change, what has sustained Judaism has been the preservation of moral clarity. This morally clear voice has much to say to today's world. I want to be clear about one thing. While we're discussing a topic of major impact on our society, we are also discussing a deeply personal and sensitive topic. I'm a pastor, and the days of my life are filled with showing God's love and compassion to people of every persuasion. While I may speak today about moral boundaries and timeless truths, I do so with no compromise of my love and compassion for all human beings. The same Torah that teaches moral clarity also commands us to love our neighbor, to care for the vulnerable, to weep with those who weep, and to support those who feel pain. Compassion, however, must never cancel truth, and kindness never calls for abandoning principle. And so let us begin with what we all sense in our hearts. Our world is confused. We as a society are experiencing a mental health crisis in this age of isolation and confusion. Young people today struggle with anxiety and loneliness, depression, fear. They feel lost, feel overwhelmed, without purpose or direction. Many are unsure of who they are, what they believe, what they want from life, and where they truly belong. In a society that celebrates self-invention but discourages self-discipline, the results are clear. People no longer know if they're male or female. They're uncertain about whether marriage is sacred or optional or an outdated institution. They question whether family is a permanent bond or a temporary contract. They ask if anything is real, if anything is right, if anything truly matters. This is more than just a cultural problem. It's a spiritual one. People need three things: clarity, connection, and a calling. They need to know who they are, where they belong, and why they were created. When we remove the anchors of tradition, faith, and family, we shouldn't be surprised that people drift. A person adrift doesn't need more choices. He needs a compass. Sadly, our society is throwing away the compass. The Torah teaches that human beings flourish not by inventing themselves, but by discovering themselves. We're not meant to be creators of meaning. We're meant to be recipients of meaning. Discovering who we are in relationship to God, to others, and to timeless truths. This is why tradition matters. Tradition gives structure. It provides norms and expectations, roles and responsibilities. It allows a person to say, "This is who I am. This is my place. It allows children to grow up with clarity, teenagers to wrestle with questions inside a stable framework, and adults to pass on something greater than themselves. Without tradition, there's chaos. Without faith, there's despair. Without norms, there's confusion. The Torah teaches that God has a plan, that nothing is arbitrary. His plan is the blueprint for a holy life and a holy society. Holiness means living for a purpose. It means reaching that purpose by exercising discipline, restraining impulses, and choosing a timeless path over temporary desire. Yet, our generation fears boundaries, while the Torah very much embraces them. Boundaries protect and elevate. Boundaries tell us what's precious and what must be preserved. And the first boundary in human life, the very first one, is the distinction between male and female. That boundary is not a social invention, it's a divine creation. Male and female are not interchangeable. They're complementary. And their union in marriage is the foundation of society and the cradle of new life. The Talmud, the central body of Jewish law and tradition, teaches that marriage is a sacred covenant between a man and a woman. It's not just a legal arrangement or a contrivance. It's not simply an emotional partnership. It's a divine institution built on different beings, united in a singular purpose. The book of Genesis tells us male and female created he them. It's not a detail, it's the foundation. And immediately after that, God commands, be fruitful and multiply. The creation of the human being is gendered, and the first commandment is connected to that reality. The Talmud teaches that when a man and a woman come together in marriage, they fulfill that divine command. Two individuals become one by bringing new life into the world. God has invited us to become his partners in the ongoing creation of humanity. Marriage is not ours to redefine. It's God's plan for the world. And regarding homosexuality, the Torah is clear. Regardless of popular opinion, the Levitical definition of homosexual relations as an abomination retains its full power today as divine revelation. God has spoken, and we listen. The Bible and the Talmud teach that there are two genders, male and female. Progressive interpretations to the contrary serve an obvious agenda and can't uproot thousands of years of tradition. We can and do love our friends, family, and neighbors, regardless of their beliefs and orientations. But again, love does not require agreement, and compassion doesn't require capitulation. The Talmud rarely comments on matters of governments, how governments should run their countries. One notable and important exception is the Talmud's observation about same-sex marriage. The Talmud observes that though there vast room for improvement in all kinds of moral standards in society, the nations of the world deserve approbation for not institutionalizing gay unions. Institutionalizing, formalizing immorality in the form of law is the hammer's blow and a society's descent. And allow me to comment on a related issue. Since sexuality is such a powerful aspect of humans' existence, carrying with it the power to create and to destroy worlds, boundaries and guidelines abound in Orthodox practice and teaching that to the secular Western eye seem puritanical and regressive. To the Jew, however, these boundaries and norms serve to transform sexuality into the powerful expression of love, joy in relationship, and intimacy that it was designed to be. Sexuality is viewed as an elevating and sacred gift and preserved as such by being expressed only within specific contexts. Discipline and self-control enhance the power of sexuality. Public displays degrade and neuter it. That's why we must also denounce the scourge of pornography, a corrosive force that distorts intimacy, fuels addiction, tears apart individuals, families, and communities, and discourages the healthy work of relationships. We can't build a healthy society on confusion. We can't raise strong families on contradiction. And we can't pass on moral truth to the next generation if we ourselves are unwilling to stand for it. So where do we go from here? We must repair and we must rebuild. Our great nation was founded on Judeo-Christian values. Our founding fathers were deeply religious and were influenced by the Bible and its morality. There is much that went into this great republic of ours, but one must remember that behind all of its success was the strong foundation of our traditional morality. This isn't referred to often enough. Sadly, we've witnessed what happens when our society forgets its moorings. And so we must repair, indeed reverse, the moral rebellion that is the Obergefell decision by overturning it. And we must rebuild the ethical foundations that once gave strength and stability to our parents and grandparents. A great moral injustice was done by the Supreme Court, ostensibly in the name of human justice, but in actuality, in the spirit of defiance of the divine. What sustained Judaism through exile and persecution, a refusal to compromise on our values, can become a guidepost of our American society. We must remember, we're not here to invent truth, but to live by it. Let us return to the timeless message at the heart of religious tradition. Let us restore the boundaries that protect and enhance life. Let us continue the covenant that has guided humanity for millennia. For the sake of our children and for the sake of our country, we must hold fast to the truth. Our lives must be built on the firm foundation of tradition and faith, rooted in the sacred union of man and woman in the holy covenant of marriage. Thank you, and may God bless this gathering. May He bless us with clarity, with courage, vision, and conviction, so that we can restore to all of God's children the greatness that He intended for us all.